Hello friends, whenever I teach you something, you need to revise it at home. Read it again and again. Read the textbook very carefully again and again. So last time we saw Newton's universal law of gravity. It is called universal because it is applicable to all objects in the universe. Now you have seen the mathematical statement F is equal to capital G m1 m2 upon d square, and this is the law which I have marked, okay, highlighted. You can see that. Now capital G value, capital G is nothing but a constant which is also called as universal gravitational constant. Value you have seen 6.673 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. You have to learn this value. Okay, Cavendish has obtained this value. Now center of mass, this is what I was talking about. So center of mass is a point which is inside or outside the object, where we assume that all the mass of the object is concentrated. Now this is for mathematical simplicity. It becomes very easy for us to calculate. That's why we use center of mass. Now let us go ahead and see the relationship between the Kepler's law and Newton's law. So if we consider a uniform circular motion, okay, uniform circular motion, it is going round and round and with the same speed, and it is a circular motion. So you know that for circle, circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Now if we see the centripetal force, the force which is required to keep the object in a circular motion, that is called as the centripetal force towards the center. Last lecture we have seen. So F is equal to mv square upon r. This is the formula for centripetal force. Now consider that the planet is moving around the sun in circular orbit. Okay, it is moving in a circular orbit, and then F is equal to mv square upon r. F means gravitational force, m is the mass of the object, v is the velocity, or here we take speed, and then r is the minimum distance. Okay, average distance, not minimum, average distance, that is between the, that is the radius of the path. Now we have formula, speed is equal to distance upon time, so 2 pi r upon t. So we get F is equal to mv square upon r is equal to m 2 pi r upon t upon r bracket square. So you can see the bracket. So we multiply up and down with r square, and then next step I have put a multiplication sign. There should be multiplication sign here. They have put a is equal to sign, that is wrong. So multiplication should be there, and then we see that according to Kepler's third law, t square upon r cube is equal to k, where k is a constant. T square is the time period required once when the planet goes around the sun for once. That time required is capital T. R is the distance between the earth or between the planet and the sun. So that is the radius. So if we see all these values, 4m pi square upon k, that is nothing but a constant. So F, that is gravitational force, which is the centripetal force required, that is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So Newton concluded that the centripetal force that is required for circular motion is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the planet and the sun. That is nothing but the Newton's law. So in Newton's law, you know that if you go away from the planet, the gravity decreases. If you come near the planet, the gravity increases on that object. So same we understood with the help of Kepler's law. So Newton has shown the relationship between the Kepler's law and his law. So gravitational force is much weaker than the other forces in nature, but it controls the universe and decides its future. So it is everywhere, it is between all objects, even you and me, even between you and your phone there is gravity. So if we consider huge masses, then we see the effect very clearly, but if the masses are small, then the effect are small. For example, here Mahendra and Virat are sitting at a distance of 1 meter. Mass of these boys are given 75 kg and 80 kg respectively. Distance between them is 1 meter. So capital G value is given, and if we calculate the value if we calculate the value of gravity G m1 m2 upon r square, we get the value which is very small, that is very small force 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. And then Mahendra and Virat, they are sitting near each other, and suppose that the force or the friction between them and the bench is 0, then what will happen? They will start moving towards each other. Remember, the force is there, so there will be attraction, and then this attraction will be very small. So this attraction will be very small and they will start moving towards each other. So we can calculate the velocity of these two boys that are slowly coming towards each other by Newton's law. So that is done in the second example. You can see, assuming that the bench is frictionless, so starting velocity is 0. So what will be the Mahendra's velocity towards Virat after 1 second? Will this velocity change with time and how? So here it is solved. Observe this carefully. So force is given, mass is given. According to Newton's second law, we have the formula A is equal to, A means acceleration, is equal to F upon m. F is the force, m is the mass. So we put the values, we get the answer. Acceleration is very tiny, very small, that is 5.34 into 10 raised to minus 9, very tiny acceleration. And then we can use another law, another equation, that is V is equal to u plus at. V is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, and t is the time. So we use the we use first equation of motion and we put the values, we get the value for velocity. Okay, so it is extremely small. So as you can see that the gravity depends on mass. If the masses are small, the gravity value is also very small, acceleration is also very small. Now if you look at massive objects like Earth and Moon, then you will see that tides are an example of effect of gravity on Earth. So the tides are nothing but the level of sea increases and decreases twice a day. So high tide and low tide at different times at different places are there. Level of the sea increases, that is because of gravitational force of moon. So water is directly under the moon's gravitational pull, and it goes up to places, some places, and it goes down at some places. So there is, wherever it goes up, that is a high tide, wherever it goes down, it is low tide. So you can see in the diagram at two places at 90 degree, from the place of high tide, the water is at minimum level and low tide is shown in the figure. Okay, so this is the direct effect that we see. Now water is lighter than the soil and the things, so the effect is pronounced, we can easily see it. Then let us go ahead to Earth's gravitational force. Now whenever an object is thrown upward, for example a stone is thrown upward, what will happen? So stone will go upwards. Will it go with the same velocity? No. It will slow down. At a time it will stop and again fall downwards towards the center of the earth. So earth is attracting all the bodies towards its center, and this is because of the gravitational force. Now whenever there is a force, there has to be acceleration, and the acceleration due to earth's gravity is called as acceleration due to gravity. So here it is given, observe this, I will mark it. So center of mass of the earth is situated at the center, so gravitational force is there on all objects that are there on earth, and because of this force, object fall downwards towards the center of the earth. Downward means towards the center of the earth. So whenever we throw anything upwards or downwards, it is coming towards the center, remember. Now let us go to the next example, that is calculate the gravitational force due to earth on Mahendra in earlier example. Now earlier what we were talking about Mahendra and Virat. Now we are talking about Mahendra and earth. Now earth's gravitational pull on Mahendra, that we have to calculate. So we put the values, we have mass of earth, we have radius of earth, we have Mahendra's mass, capital G value, and we put the values, we get the answer 733 Newton. So that is the force. So we put the values, we got the answer 733 Newton. It is very large as compared to the answer we got between Virat and Mahindra. So another example here, starting from rest, what will be Mahindra's velocity after 1 second if he is falling towards due to the Earth's gravitational force? So you can see, put the values, initial velocity u, initial velocity is u, that is 0. So starting from 0, F, that is a force, gravitational force, then we have Mahindra's mass and time taken, that is 1 second. So we put the value A is equal to F upon m. This is the formula for acceleration. Acceleration is equal to force upon mass. So 733 upon 75. So that comes out to be downwards we use the value V is equal to U plus 80. So V is equal to 9.77 meters per second. So thus if Earth is attracting apple towards itself, apple is also attracting the Earth with the same force. But whenever the attraction takes place, the apple comes towards the Earth. Normally we don't see the Earth moving towards the apple. But is it really true that the apple is attracting Earth and Earth is attracting apple? So they should move towards each other, and that really happens. But the velocity of the Earth is very small, as Earth is a massive object, very large. It has very large inertia. So to move the Earth, lot of force is required. And when apple is pulling the Earth towards itself, we don't see Earth going towards the apple. Instead, we see the apple coming towards the Earth. So gravitational force due to Earth also acts on moon, because of which it revolves around the Earth. Similar situation exists for artificial satellites. The moon and the artificial satellite orbit the Earth. They are going around the Earth. So Earth attracts them towards itself, but unlike falling apple, they do not fall on Earth. That is why they don't fall on Earth. This is because of the velocity of moon and satellite along their orbit. So if the velocity was not there, they would have fallen on Earth. So this is important. Suppose you throw a stone, what will happen? It will travel horizontally some distance and then it will fall down. Again you throw the stone with a large force, what will happen? It will go longer and then it will fall down. But suppose the velocity is very large, tangential velocity, horizontal velocity is very large, what will happen? It will keep falling towards the Earth, but it will not touch the Earth. Same thing happens with the moon. The moon is falling towards the Earth, but it has horizontal velocity, because of which it is going horizontally and it keeps going around the Earth in a horizontal velocity and doesn't fall on Earth. If we stop the moon, it will directly come on Earth and fall down. Okay, so Earth's gravitational acceleration, the gravitational force due to Earth results in acceleration, that is called as Earth's gravitational acceleration. Let us see F, that is the capital F, that is the force of gravity according to Newton's law. Capital G m upon r square. Capital G is the constant, m is the mass of the Earth, small m is the mass of object, r is the radius, that is the distance between the object and the center of Earth. Now capital F is equal to mg. This is another formula. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. F force, m small mass of the object, and small g is the acceleration due to gravity. Now we have small g is equal to capital G m upon r square. Now see right side, I have circled it. So mg is equal to G m upon r square. Small m gets cancelled. So we are left with small g is equal to capital G upon capital G capital M upon r square. Now if we put all the values, that is capital G value, capital M value, that is the mass of Earth, and capital R value. Suppose we consider the object is on the surface of Earth, then the radius capital R we will put, and we get the value 9.77 into 10 meters per second square. 9.77 meters per second square. So for practical purpose we take it as 9.8. Now will it be same for all objects, or will it be same everywhere on Earth? Answer is no. Now very interesting thing, the value of small g is not constant everywhere on the Earth. So if we go to different places, that is the poles and equator, then also it changes. So earth is rotating around itself and it is bulging towards the equator. Okay, so suppose this is the earth, this is the equator, so it is bulging out. So if we consider this as the earth, you can see the equator, okay, horizontal equator. Wherever the high tide is there, that part is nothing, like bulge is there. So because of the bulge of the earth, it is uneven. It is not like a spherical, completely sphere, perfect sphere, it is not there. And that's why the value of G changes. It is highest 9.832 meter per second square at the poles and decreases slowly with decreasing latitude. It is the lowest 9.78 at equator. So small difference, but it is there. With height, now what will happen? Think over it. What will happen if we go above the surface of earth? Naturally, what will happen is the distance between the center and the object will increase, and the value of small g should decrease because it depends on capital R. Okay. Now if we consider that you are going in an aeroplane that is something like 10 kilometers. So 10 kilometers above the surface of earth, and the radius of the earth is 6400 kilometer. So comparing 10 kilometer with 6400, it is negligible, and that's why the value of G doesn't change much even if you are on Mount Everest or aeroplane or in the aeroplane. So you can see one table. So in this table they have shown on the surface of the earth the value of small g means what? Acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8 meter per second square. On Mount Everest, that is 8.8 kilometers away from the surface of the sea, that is also 9.8 kilometers per second square. Even if you are in aeroplane or some object above the surface of earth, then it is 9.8. But if you go very far away, for example in a communication satellite, if you are near communication satellite which is around 35,700 kilometer away from the surface of the earth, then what will happen? The value of small g will decrease so much, that is 0.225. So with depth also it is going to change. So what will happen if we go towards the center of the earth? So as the value of R will decrease, so what would we think? We would think that the value of gravity should increase, because as you are going towards the center and the radius is decreasing, then it should increase, but it happens the other way around. What actually happens is the part of the earth that is attracting you towards the center decreases. Okay, so I will just show you one example. So suppose that this is the earth. Okay, now you are going towards the center. What will happen? This part is pulling you towards the center, and this part will pull you away from the center, because gravity is everywhere. Okay, so gravity is everywhere. That means what will happen? Some part will try to pull you towards the center and some part will not pull you towards the center. So what will happen is that the value of G will decrease as you go towards the center, and exactly at the center it will become 0. Remember this. Understood? So value of G changes with depth also. So as you go towards the center, the value of G decreases actually. So capital M value that is to be substituted, that also decreases. Combined result of R and M, as we go down towards the center, it decreases and it becomes 0 at the center. Very interesting. At the center of the earth, the gravity or the gravitational acceleration becomes 0, because all parts of the earth that is outside is pulling you towards them. So North Pole is pulling you towards North Pole, South Pole is pulling you towards South Pole, like that, and they cancel each other, and hence finally when at the center of the earth, now it is not possible because it is very hot, but it becomes 0. Remember this. Now one more thing, the moon has less mass than that of earth, so the value of gravitational acceleration on moon is 1/6 that of on earth. Remember this. So same amount of force, if we jump on moon, then we will go higher and higher. So they even say that if you jump high enough or with a lot of force, you can escape the gravitational force of the moon and you can fly off in the space. Okay, we will continue next time. Thank you. You have to read it again and again. Read the textbook carefully again and again.